Hi everyone and welcome to Planting for Wildlife. Today I'm looking at the showstopper of early summer showstoppers, Eremurus, and in particular this variety called Cleopatra, together with 3 companion plants that should work with it really nicely. Eremurus are hardy perennials that originate from the dry grasslands and semi-desert of Western and Central Asia. This variety, Cleopatra, has beautiful tall flower spikes, up to 2 meters tall, which flower in June and July, producing a burnt orange flower bud which open into a vibrant peachy orange flower with a red midrib on the back and orange anthers. The flowers open successively from the bottom of the cluster up and are really popular with bees, butterflies, and in some parts of the world, hummingbirds too. This variety Cleopatra has also received the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, so it's definitely a plant worth growing if you have the right conditions. Eremurus are frost hardy and actually need a period of cold in the winter to give the best blooms. They like a warm, sunny spot, and as long as it's sheltered, don't need staking, which is perfect for people like me who want to try and keep as low maintenance garden as possible. Planting in groups of 5 is perfect to give that naturalistic feel throughout the garden. I probably could have clumped mine up a little bit more. When planting, choose the position carefully though, because they don't like being transplanted or divided. They should grow well in any neutral, sharply drained soil. I've added a lot of sharp sand and compost into these beds because they're a really thick, heavy clay, and they seem to be doing well. Although they are frost hardy, I've seen it recommended to give them a mulch over the winter, so I'm going to do that just in case. As we have milder winters here in the UK, I planted my Eremurus in the autumn. But if you do have colder winters, it's best to plant them in the spring. The bulbs look really cool. They're like big dinner plate sized spiders. To plant them, you want to dig a hole about 15 centimeters deep and wide enough to place the bulb in without the legs getting squashed. The center of the bulb is shiny on one side, which is where the shoot comes out, and flat and dull on the other. So you want to make sure that the flat dull side is facing downwards and the shiny side is facing upwards. Once you've placed them into the hole, just cover back over with a sharp compost, and it's probably best to mark them with a cane or something, because you won't be able to see where the plants are until the foliage comes out in early spring. On to my top 3 companions now, and I'll start with Nepeta or catmint. This perennial is great for pollinators, and its lavender blue flowers from late spring into late summer should contrast beautifully with the colour of the Eremurus. It also likes the same conditions in terms of full sun and sharp drainage. Alliums work really nicely, although I choose a variety that are later flowering, something like Christophe or drumstick alliums that I've planted throughout this garden. You could use Purple Sensation, which I featured in a previous video, but it will definitely have gone over before the Eremurus comes into flower. Lastly, I think Northia Macedonica would pair really nicely, giving a nice contrast of colour and form. I've sown a lot of Northia Macedonica from seed this year, and whilst I don't have any flowers to show for it, hopefully next year they will come into flower and I can trial pairing them next to my Eremurus. Thanks for watching. I'd love to know if any of you are growing or planning to grow these beautiful plants in your garden. If so, please drop me a comment below. If you haven't seen me on Instagram, it's mjdearman_photography, so please drop me a follow. Until next time, enjoy the wildlife in your garden.